Okay. All right. 99 red balloons. What is the code that is hidden in this? Well, this idea. Okay. Well, to begin with, we've got to know what a red balloon is referring to. Okay. This is a red balloon. You know. This. I mean, What was I listening to? I was listening to Enter the Stars, right? And I occasionally listen to I think his name's Casey. I occasionally listen to him. Some of the stuff is I don't think he interprets it correct the way I would interpret it, but um, it's interesting, and I watch a lot of people that maybe I don't agree completely with what they're saying, but it's interesting to listen to different sides of things and to because the thing is the truth's in everything. You just got to know how to pick off the nonsense around the edges. But anyway, this is what a red balloon is, yeah? It's a blood moon. It's a total lunar eclipse. That's what a red balloon is, in my opinion. What that's telling us, this image here, or this idea of a lunar eclipse, what's going on here is, well, if we can get past these balls here, um, is what's happening is the moon, yeah, the metaphysical side of reality is coming back into balance with the physical side, the sun side of reality, yeah, and Earth is in the middle. Um, this is this is probably some kind of whatever nonsense this is, but what we need to be looking at is the Earth's in the middle. This is the thing we're observing from, and the moon and the sun are the same size objects in the sky as we see them. And what's happening is when these two objects, when everything comes into alignment, right, this thing's balanced and it turns this color, this blood moon, right? Oh, yeah. Okay, so we know what a red balloon is now, yeah? The ball loon, yeah? The loon, the lunar, the loon. Um, where do I want to go from here? Well, let's look at. Let's just cover the song very quickly. I covered this in previous videos. I don't really want to go into the song too much. Um, it's a big song, It's always on the radio. Um, it's a very well recognized song. Um, what else do I want to say about it? The band references the idea for the song, a couple of things, but one particular thing stands out is a Las Vegas story of some students launching 99 Mylar balloons with a traffic flare on them, and it looked like a UFO, right? Just that link to Vegas was interesting. But the gist of the story is what ends up happening is from a sighting of 99 red balloons, right? Basically, a huge war breaks out. That's the gist of the song. So you can see where we're going with the apocalypse idea. And all the other mistaken. I got a feeling that what's coming up, is something quite big, and it's going to be started through a mistake. It will be a mistake. There's too many other films. I just feel like there's too many other films that reference that idea. There's like Doctor Strangelove, Mars Attacks, War Games. I mean, it's all. I mean, realistically, when you get involved in the fictional system to a point where you are so far, so far from reality, everything you are doing, essentially is a mistake, because you're so far out of balance. You know, everything's a mistake at that point. But I think it'll probably look like some kind of ridiculous mistake. Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. But anyway, enough waffling. Let's get back to the actual code. This code that's hidden in. So I want to go to this because I took the time to actually plot out what I actually went ahead and did. Let's go to this. Right. Excuse me a second. What I did is I took the time to go back for the last for the 20th century and the start of the 21st century. I plotted out basically all the total eclipses for that time period. I wasn't interested in. I'm only interested when the moon is a blood moon, a full blood moon. So we just wanted to do total eclipses. Yeah, total eclipse of the heart. We just want total eclipses. So this is what we've got: total lunar eclipses. And funnily enough, I have 100 of them. Remember that story, the Vegas story that we were just on? The students supposedly bought 100 red balloons, lost one, and they let 99 go. Interesting. And so this ties into this October the 18th date quite nicely, and 9/11 quite nicely, and I'm going to show you how and why that does that. Just interestingly, you know, because I'm kind of dyslexic and can't even type, somehow earlier on when I was typing out October, I managed to type out, and I looked at that and I'm like, that's interesting. October, if you just rotate that C, you get out. I just wrote it up there so I wouldn't forget to talk about that, but I just thought it was interesting. So out on the 18th. I don't know. Okay, so we start. So what I've got over here, I've got a number 1, which means that's the first total eclipse of the 20th century. This is the 20th century right here, 1902. And so I'm counting up, yeah, to 99, right? But I'm also going to count backwards. And there's a reason why I've done that. So this is my counting backwards here. And the reason why I've counted backwards is because of there's so much reference, right? Which, I mean, you can't really go through reality without having this reference, because it is the basis of reality, which is the basis of balance, which is it's balancing two things all the time. Yeah. So if we want to look at dates, you know, it might be an idea to go one forwards and one reverse, you know, like the Janus type idea of one face looking into the future, one face looking into the past, and then the face that's straight on is in the here and now. And that's the same with the moon goddess idea. Yeah, you've seen that symbolism, which is the one crescent going one way, then the full moon, and then the crescent going the other way. Yeah, so you've got one face is the youthful face, would be the past or the youth, and then you've got the present, the balanced moon, the full moon, and then you've got the old crony, which is facing into the future, which would be a projection of age into the future, old. And you could flip those two around, of course. Everything flips around. So anyway, this is why I'm going in reverse as well. Okay. So what I've got here is, what we're going to do is let's go through and let's see where we end up, right? When we just go through and we scroll all the way through, forget about that bit for a second. We'll scroll all the way through to 99, right? So from the start of the 20th century through to now, 99 red balloons takes us to 2019, right? And what's 2019? I believe it was the. Don't quote me on this. It was either the 17th. I think it was the 17th of November. The first case in China, supposedly. That's the date they give us, 2019. And then of course we had the whole of 2020 shut down, and now we're in 2021. Okay, so the Wu flu, yeah. So we've gone 99 red balloons, and this date here. This is definitely a world event. There's no denying that. This event, it has to have surpassed, because it has to be in the conscious minds of more people than Legs 11. It has to be. I don't know, but anyway, let's go back now, back to the start, because I want to show you. So hang on a minute. You're jumping ahead, Dan. One other thing I want to just mention before I jump ahead. Let's go back to where we were at before I go crazy. I've come up to this point here, simply because this year, I believe that we are, I don't know, at a point where something's going to happen, something big's going to happen, and so I counted backwards this way, and if you add these two numbers together, we get 101 every time. Okay, 99 plus 2, 100 plus 1, 98 plus 3. We're totaling 101. Yeah, and again with the 101, that's almost the same symbolism again as the Yanis or the triple goddess. That one face looking one way, the face looking dead on in the here and now, and the face looking into the future. Yeah, the 101 event. 101, laugh out loud. It's referenced so much. I should have really written that in the title of this. This is part of this. I believe it's part of this code, right? So I decided I'll just count backwards, right, from that date. And there's a reason why I did it like this as well, which will become apparent when we get back to that point at the start. So I counted backwards as well. Okay. And so if you count backwards, what we end up with, what we end up with when we get back to the start here is we end up with another date for 99 red balloons, because we have to remember that where I got to this point was I counted backwards from this year, and I got to this date here, and you see the date? We're one day off, and that story as well of losing a red balloon. I think what I did is I jumbled something up to begin with, and I ended up I can't remember what I did, but for some reason anyway, this is what I came up with. So we're one day off here. So you might have noticed what's really interesting about the other date, yeah, the 100 date, yeah. So 100 would be completion, yeah. So 10 is completion in that in a cycle, and that would be a completion of the metaphysical cycle. So 5 being the center of that, and then if we were to look at the physical side of nature, yeah, it would be 6. So 12 would be the completion of a cycle in physical nature. Okay, so this is where you get your 144 from, yeah, 12 12s, and 10 10s, 100. Well, we haven't got 144 here, but what we do have is a double 9 or a double 6, yeah, a reference to the physical side of reality. What's interesting is, check this out. This is one day off, right? of a certain date. Yeah, we've lost a balloon. This is 1 day off of my date that I've been looking at for whatever to happen, but whatever. October the 18th, right? This date here, some of you will already be shouting at the screen because you already know what it is. Let me minimize. Let me show you what that date is. That date, if we go to legs 11, right? Where is that date? Can't even see it. Here it is. Go up a bit so you can see the month. Bloomin' Nora Dan, come on. Painful, painful. So here's our 9/11 date. Yeah. 111, the triple bar. Let's flip. So that's September the 11th. Let's flip now to the other part of the year. This is for people that are completely new to this stuff. And let's look at the corresponding twin date for that day. And we are at the 21st of April. Yeah, the 21st of April. And this date here, this date here is the 22nd of April. We are a day off. So this was looking real interesting to me, as you can imagine. So I'm like, well, the next thing I want to look at is, okay, so we've got the start dates referencing 1 day off from our finish dates, yeah? So we've lost one out of these dates. Do you get where I'm going with that idea? Like the one being born, the Neo coming out of the system, yeah? The one coming out of the system, okay? So, of course, I'm like, well, the best place to look for other references would be at the center of that cycle, yeah? And the center of the cycle, well, if we half 100, because originally there's 100 red balloons, right? We get to these two dates, okay? Now, on the surface, it doesn't look too interesting, but there's some interestingness here, and the first thing is that this 4 and a 7 is referenced, yeah, and the 4 and the 7 is a reference to being independent. Yeah, it's Independence Day, the 4th of July. So this 4-7 here is a definite reference to being independent. This is who's going to inherit the earth. People that are independent, people that don't depend on the system. If we're going to have a reset, right, or a rebirth of man, those two things have to happen simultaneously, because what happens with the metaphysical happens with the physical, because they're both balanced together. If we were to balance the physical, the metaphysical would become balanced as well, the spiritual side or the fictional side of nature, the way we interact with one another in terms of spiritually, like those two things would come back. If you balance one, yeah, if you went and lived in harmony with nature, your spiritual side would automatically be in harmony as well. So if we're having a great reset of the system, then we have to have a great reset of man as well. So the man has to be rebirthed, reborn. So this 4-7 is about becoming independent, about coming out of that system and being an independent man. When you are dependent on something, when you're a junkie, you will do anything to get that fix, So you will do the bidding of the system to get the fix, The people that tend to be more dependent on the system, that are more ingrained in the system, they cannot. It's difficult for them to think outside the box. It's difficult for them to let go of the ideas that the system's given them, because they are basically scared of what's going to happen to them. That's the real reason. This is why all these people that talk about the zombies this, the zombies that. You know what? Those people are like scared children. That's the way you have to look at them. Yeah, this is why, Jesus would say, show mercy and have understanding for people like that. Forgive the people that are doing the wrongs, because they're scared children. They don't know any better. That's the problem, right? And when you get so dependent on something, you will do anything to try and maintain that. Yeah, and this is when people start doing bad things they shouldn't be doing, to maintain that system. Anyway, rambling again. So this 4-7, yeah, that's interesting. Okay, but what we have pop up on this date as well is we have to half. We got a half 99 as well. Yeah, so that would be 49.5, wouldn't it? If I'm adding stuff up right. So 49.5 would be somewhere with this date here and somewhere with this date here. Yeah, 49, 49. So we've got to include these two dates as well, because we're referencing the 99 and the 100 here. Yeah, the center of that cycle. Well, that's interesting. We've got this 18th of October right here. I mean, I just thought that was, and again, we're close on this has a huge personal meaning for me, this date, as does a lot of dates within what I'm looking at. I'm sure, if you look deeply into your own life, you will find the same sort of dates floating about here and there that will reference this in one way or another. But anyway, huge significance for me here. And so, we had that event this year where that condo fell down. That was on the 24th, one day off of this again. So I've seen a lot of close dates, and of course, we've got the 44, yeah, which this year was Easter Sunday, the rebirth of Christ, and the 77. And if you do your sevens like I do, I put a line through my sevens, you can actually flip a 7, and it's almost like a 4. You just rotate it. You just kind of flip it, rotate it. I don't know, but anyway, I think that might be a continental 7. I'm not sure, but I put a line through my sevens, and it just, it's like a kind of a mirror number again, as is a lot of things in reality. Anyway, waffling. What's interesting about just after this, which is the 68, and I'll get onto the reference here. Let's just do the reference to 68, because it's going to pop up again here in a minute. Go to my chart. So it's my chart. It's just a chart. If you are new, you don't understand this. This is a chart of Fibonacci sequence numbers, type numbers, started on different numbers. This is an actual set here, Lucas numbers. These are two sets that I made up, started on 3 and 5, and I've called them pi and phi. Okay, they're just made how you'd make Fibonacci numbers. So in the center of this, though, right, what we've got is we've got two lines that form a double cross, right? And the first line is all to do with the metaphysical side of reality, like 5, like the pentagram and all that kind of stuff. And of course 10 would be the completion for that, the decimal system. And then we have physical nature. So you have feet and inches, man, the number of man is 6, yeah. Number of man 666. Nothing wrong with that number. You just got to know what it means, and that this thing can be out of balance or it can be in balance. And when it's in balance, it's perfect harmony, and when it's not, well, you're up the creek without a paddle, basically. That's basically where you're at. But anyway, this date that I was looking at before, which was 8/18, this date here is super significant when I start counting on days in the year. Okay, you can go back and look at the 8/18 video, but 8 can also be October, right? So October the 18th, as September, or 7 can also be September, and that is 9/11 or 7/11, yeah, right here. So we've got this 8/18 right here. It just so happens that this video is going to come out on the 23rd of, this would be a 9 if you reduce it. Okay, so you get your 9/11 back this way as well. So this video is going to come out on the 23rd, and I've done how this all links together with October the 18th as well in other videos. You have to go back and look at that. But what I wanted to touch on here is this 68. I want to show you. Look, so the number of man's 6, right? And these numbers down in this column are all to do with the number of man. So if we're going to see a 23 or a 32, it's going to be important. If we're going to see an 81 or an 18, it's going to be important. The 33, which everybody sees, is important, right? We're talking about physical, the physical side of reality, right? And this is the thing that's got to be brought back into balance with this thing. Or just brought back into balance by itself, this will automatically balance this thing. You know, if one of these is balanced, the other one will automatically be balanced. They go hand in hand, yeah? They're two sides of the same coin. So what we've got is we've got this 6/8 right here. And so if we go to the 8 column now, right? Look what numbers we've got in the 8 column. Yeah, we've got another repetition of the 6 here. Forget the 0. We've got another 6 here. We've got the 86 here, or 68 here. And we've got, well, this year, 21, or 2001. And here's our 4/7 of Independence Day, yeah? The same 4/7 that's referenced, it's over here as a balanced number as well. So this balance, you know, this is all about being independent and balanced as a man, yeah? So dates here are going to be significant. And of course, when we're balancing the 18th of October, there's a date here that we're going to balance with, which is the 23rd, which is today. And we're going to go 25 days, and we'll be at that date. And we'll cover some 25s here in a minute. But I just wanted to point that out. You know, this 86 is significant. Yeah, it's 86 here as well. So go back to this other chart, right? Let's look at, well, here's the 68 here. Yeah, 68 again. October the 6th. World Trade Center construction start date was August 06. Yeah, I just talked about interchanging the 8th month with October, and funnily enough, construction date for this starts for World Trade Center 1 starts on, and it's the only date they give you on Wikipedia. The other ones are just months. They don't actually give you the day. I mean, I could probably found them out, but it was just interesting that Wikipedia just only get, you know, that was the only date that kind of popped out. So it's interesting that just happens to coincide here, and we're at 47 again, and you know, I don't know. Anyway, Space Odyssey comes out 68. I don't think I need to explain that reference. And it comes out in April, and we have a total lunar eclipse here on 68 in April. You know. And people will say, well, they did that because of that, and, you know, because the film references the moon, you know, whatever. Okay, this was interesting again. Blah, 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 blah. I want to just highlight this one right here, because Back to the Future, yeah, super important film. It's on the 33rd, counting down and counting up. We're on 6-8 again. Yeah, those numbers, and the 8-5, yeah, which is the top of those two columns. Yeah, the metaphysical and the physical. Again, more references to balance. This is why this date's so important. The 28th, if we look at the film, what I want to do, if we look at the film, I've got a little spot in the film here where Marty's about to go back with the lightning strike. I think this is the date he's going back to, October the 26th. Okay, we're 2 days off. And, you know, when you see, if you see either 2 days off of a date, 3 days off of a date, or 4 days off of a date, I would say that it's a good chance that there's some kind of rebirth idea there. So from Good Friday to Easter Sunday, the death and the rebirth of Jesus, we got what appears to be 2 days, if you look at the calendar, but actually is counted as 3. I don't know if that makes sense. Am I saying that right? You count the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but if you were to count the days, you would actually only have, like this year, if Sunday was the 4th, Saturday would be the 3rd, and Friday would be the 2nd. So 2nd to the 4th only looks like 2 days on paper, but it's counted as 3. I don't know if you understand that. But anyway, you know, so when you see when a number is a couple of days off, I mean, it might have looked a bit obvious if they'd put October the 28th here. It's already pretty obvious anyway, but, you know, I don't know. You know, maybe that is a reference to Marty being reborn here, yeah? This is what's about to happen in this part of the film. He's about to be reborn. So the date we see appears to be 2 days or 3 days before the thing comes back into balance. The moon comes back into balance with Marty, or Marty comes back into balance with the moon. Oh, sorry this is so long-winded. What's interesting about that as well is we have an April, and then we jump right back to an October. You see the way these numbers, you know, this pattern is kind of repeated quite a bit. But again, we're back to that April 9/11 reference and the October the 17th reference. This was interesting. There was an error. They put 16 on Wikipedia, and I just happened to be checking the NASA where they got their stuff from, and I just happened to notice that was wrong. I don't know what I know what the significance personally of that is, but I ain't going to share it with you. But again, this is another one of these dates that has huge personal significance for me. So I just thought it was interesting that there was an error there. What else do I want to say about this? Blah de blah. Okay, that same Back to the Future, what was in 1985, crops up again in the 2004, and again it's number 86, balance number again, 68, 86, and it's number 15, and in fact I think they go to 2015 in the movie, and that just works out with the code in the movie of the 33 and the 30-year code that's in there, and the 66 code that's in there. So, but that's just, you know, again, it just corresponds there as well with the countdown, 15. What else do I want to say about this? So this year, this would be our reference for this year. We had a total lunar eclipse this year as well, and I decided just for fun to carry on counting up, because I noticed when you get to 109, so we're 19, we've got this April the 25th here, in 2032. So we've got like a 2332 reference, we've got a 19 reference, we've got the 25 days that carry on from the 23rd of September to bring us to October the 18th, yeah. And we've got we've got an 11 here. I don't know, the 111, the 111th lunar total lunar eclipse as well comes to 2033, the 14th of April this time, but 24. I'll just show you what's interesting about 2033 is this down here. So I don't know, it references balance again, 2033. What am I forgetting off this stuff? Probably forgot a bunch of stuff on here, but I don't know if you can follow what I've just said there, but there's definitely, it's almost like a countdown thing, I don't know what else to say about it. You can pick some other dates out. Let me just go back real quick. Let's just look at a couple of earlier dates. So I don't have it written on here. I should have written on here so I didn't forget. But again, with the 25, 1935, we've got the completion of the Hoover Dam. Yeah. And we've also got a 26 date as well, and that's in 35 again. And interestingly enough, we've got a 16 and a 19 here. I mean, 76 is also in the table. So we start seeing some, I don't know, just some interesting stuff. And also 74 here corresponds with the year that, they opened it in, they had it running in 35. They finished it in 35, right? But they did some special thing in 36 as well, just so probably could get that reference date in there. And then also, oh bloody hell, Dan, I wish you wouldn't do that. I don't know what that just did there. Also, it was started in 1931, and again with the 77 and the 23 and the 32 here, and there's a whatever, but I could probably pick a lot of significance out with nearly every number in here anyway. So you kind of, it gets to a point where you're kind of like picking and choose. Not really picking and choosing, but you can make a case for a lot of numbers in this chart, and a lot of numbers that pop up, whenever you're looking at stuff. But this definitely was super significant to me, the idea that this April the 22nd, I mean, we're just one day off, and then to see October the 17th being one day off from this date that I've been looking at, and this is one day off from the twin day of 9/11. I mean, it just, I don't know, maybe it's nothing, maybe it's something, I don't know. Anyway, I think that's probably the end of the video, to be quite honest. I can't think of anything else I wanted to say. But it is interesting that this thing adds up to 101. I think if you Gematria Hoover Dam or something like that, we get that 101. And of course that road that leads all the way up to the Emerald City is Route 101. Yeah, across the Golden Gate Bridge, we're on Route 101, which is the coastal, is pretty much a coastal road, even though it's not right on the coast, but that idea of being in that, on the sands there, the Corona, up to the Emerald City. I'm sure I've forgotten something. I think I've mentioned most of this, what I wanted to say. I'm just scanning back through just to double check, see if anything pops up. I will say this: if you go to the corresponding date for what would be August the 18th, 515, yeah, pops up. So it's interesting. That's in the middle of there as well. What else? What am I missing? You know, obviously November the 18th and November the, you know, you'll see this number popping up, or 17 or something. You know, these eclipses seem to happen around about the same dates. Yeah, well, I mean, it's a cycle, so it's going to be around the same dates. But there's you know, definitely some interesting here again. We've got this October date around, you know, number 31. Yeah, so pi references, the 31, 1931 of the dam. You know, just I mean, I'm pretty much waffling now. Did I want to say anything about? Of course, you can see here 2001. Yeah, when did it happen? Jan 9th, 19. It was the 19 on the countdown, the 19 on the countdown. I mean, oh, you know, I mean, I don't know what to say really. I think that's it. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you on... actually, let me just throw this on the end. I might put this on another video, but to be quite honest, I don't know if it's worth a standalone video. And I could just waffle for 5 more minutes, so if you'll bear with me. This chart again, right? Very interesting. So we're dealing with this row here. We're dealing with the whole chart basically, but I want to point out something I come across the other day. So if you remember that song by Tommy Two Tone, Jenny, 8675309. I probably need to check that, but yeah, sorry, 8675309. Is that right? Yeah, 8675309. We've got a double 3 in there, so I guess you could say that's the same 3. I mean, you know, it's referenced. I don't know how else you could have maybe changed them numbers around a little bit, but 8675309. I have to flip the 6. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting that those numbers were right there. And of course, with all the Jennies, you know, like the Jennies in I just Back to the Future, War Games, that Jennifer, the Jenny, the Genie, yeah, the Genie and the Genesis that's about to happen. I just thought it was a reference. You know, what does Jesus ride on? A donkey. A female donkey is a Jenny. You know, the Jenny. And just to have those numbers right there, I thought was interesting. Anyway, I thought I'd just put that on the end of there. Was there anything else I was going to say about the Jenny? Jenny. And of course you can, that all, you know, and then you get into Blue Jean and Billie Jean, and it's all the same idea, you know. And the old JL will go on about Levi's and being the Jean, you know, the Genie, the jeans, the Levi, the Levy. So it all, you know, it's all connected. Anyway, hope you enjoyed, and I shall catch you. Oh, one more thing. It would make sense. It would kind of make sense if there was some kind of reference. It would be today. 9:23. I don't know what the reference would be, but it would be interesting maybe to watch the news today. I don't know what the reference would be. Something to do with Rebirth, something to do with 25. I don't know, but there may be. I would imagine there would be some kind of big news story referencing one of those two things, some kind of Rebirth or 25, or I don't know if it would reference 18. It might reference 18. I don't know, something like that. But anyway, yeah, that's it. I can't think of anything else. All right. See ya. Have a good one. Right, bye.